welcome to StarTalks powered by Advotalks. I am your host Siraj, and today we have with us our most esteemed guest, Ms. Aishwarya Sandeep, a distinguished legal professional with a dynamic background as founder of Law School Uncensored. She is a legal professional specializing in media laws and intellectual property rights, as well as a content creator. Beyond her entrepreneurial endeavors, Aishwarya's dedication extends to academia, where she shares her expertise as a visiting professor at esteemed law colleges, as well by conducting online sessions. Aishwarya's commitment to empowering individuals and businesses is exemplified through her website, aishwaryasandeep.in, wherein articles penned by different law students from colleges pan India have showcased their skill set of legal writing while empowering the common man and law students. Her lectures on different topics of law can be found on her YouTube channel, Law School Uncensored. Today, she has joined us at StarTalks to express her views on content writing as a career for legal students, bridging the law, business, and beyond. I should admit that I'm quite excited to host her. With that, I warmly welcome Aishwarya Sandeep to our talk show, StarTalks powered by Advotalks. Welcome to the show, Ms. Aishwarya.
Hi, Siraj. Thank you so much. It's great having you.
I'm sure that it's.
I really hope this is a very, what do you say? This is a very productive interaction, and the students have a lot of takeaway from this session.
Definitely, ma'am. We are all excited at Advotalks, and I'm absolutely sure that it's going to be quite insightful for all the audience. Let me start with a fundamental understanding from you. So, how do you see the role of content writing, especially in addressing the communication and branding the challenges that companies often encounter, and how the law students can use their knowledge of the law to write content which is good and awesome for legal websites and blogs?
See, Siraj, post 2020, everything has changed. The way the companies function, the way we study, even education as a sector has, totally changed. Earlier, it was just, going to college, learning, and then you have to apply for a job, it's over. But today, with social media and with digital technology, everything is online. Okay. So branding as a concept is not only limited to companies. Today, even lawyers, even professionals themselves need a certain amount of branding. And as as per the Bar Council rules, we cannot advertise ourselves. So we cannot professionally do any branding. But then the best way to brand yourself is always, it has always been through academics. That is one. Traditionally, it was research papers like pre-digital era. Today, it is more of blogs or having a website. And when I talk about having a website, it doesn't have to be an expensive or a fancy website. It just has to be some good work of yours which is published. It can be in a reputed journal. It can be, on your own portal, or it can be even on your LinkedIn. So that itself helps a lot in self-branding.
Great, ma'am. Great. Thanks for those inputs for the legal students using the websites and blogs, and especially the research aspect as well. We'll try to understand from you, should law students especially the writers, focus on any one specific area of law, or offer writing services for all kind of legal topics? So what are the pros and cons of these two approaches? And also the legal landscape is constantly evolving. So what trends or upcoming areas within the legal content writing should law students be aware of to remain competitive in the market?
See, first of all, this whole concept of becoming an expertise happens only after you are in the practice for 5 to 10 years. Okay, so as a law student, even as a legal professional, for around 3 years, you should always experiment. See what works for you, what is the best food that you can, the best that you can offer to your audience. Because when you talk about writing, it's a skill, it's an art. 50% you need to have it inherently. 50% can be the skill set which you can acquire either through training or through diplomas or by even practice. So these are two important things. If I don't enjoy criminal law, I will not be able to write, or I will not have that thought process to interpret a criminal act. Now I'm very passionate about media laws. I do have my background in mass media. So that helps me understand the concept, as well as it helps me in implementing the same. Because I have friends who are in the production house, so I'm literally on the sets also on some of the days. So I know what goes on in the production, and I know कि हाँ shoot में ये problem होता है. So I need to ensure that these are the documents that are these are the clauses that are covered in my document, so that next time there is no such problem. Similarly, if I'm writing an article, okay, I can write an article only on the basis of my experience. So even if you want to be a content writer, more than academics, you should know what is going on in the practical world. What are the trends? If I am someone who is writing on consumer law, okay, I can write a good article which is based on, suppose deficiency of service. Okay, I'm writing an article on deficiency of service. Section 2, subsection so and so says this is the deficiency of service. 5-6 अच्छे case laws डाल दिए. Everybody is happy with that. As a law student, it's a very beautiful, brilliant article. But when you are posting it on a blog, or you are posting it in a journal, which is going to be read by professionals, they already know these basics. They want something more. They want that, when they read your article, they have to learn something more. So one, when you do legal content writing, always remember who your audience is. Now, if it's the same article that I'm writing for a common man, उसको judgment से कुछ नहीं पड़ी है. He's least bothered with what are the judgments, what is a citation. But if I tell him that as per the Supreme Court rules, under in so and so case, you can file a case for deficiency of service against the hospital. That concept is very important for a common man. So one, understand who your audience is. Two, it is always good to show your knowledge. Writing is the best way to show your knowledge. But then, is that knowledge helpful for the front person? That is what should always be your priority when you're writing. Explore everything. I would rather say that instead of focusing on one subject, explore everything. Be open to experimentation. If you're comfortable in one particular field, go ahead. And it's not that because something is trending that you will also be successful. For example, I always tell law students that everybody is just obsessed. You have to join a tier 1 law firm. You have to work in corporates. Only then you will earn lakhs. What they forget is that even trial lawyers, if in the lower courts, they earn much more than these tier 1 law firm lawyers. So don't be overwhelmed by what everybody is doing. Identify what is your strength, identify what you can do your best in, and then go ahead.
Right, ma'am. But there are a lot of things that you have brought in, like, on the, if at all someone is writing on the consumer law, as per the trend, basically, you can just bring up the case law and something which is very, happened in the near past, and also trying to bring the application perspective for the common man, basically, how useful it is. So these are certain aspects that you mentioned, and also there is no harm in restricting to one area, but you should always be open for kind of exploring other avenues. These are definitely key takeaways. Aishwarya, let's continue further, and I have something in my mind to ask you, like, is the legal content writing a long lasting career option for law students, or is it just more of a kind of a gig that someone should be kind of exploring, like a stepping stone to another legal job? So how you should kind of consider that, what would you kind of consider this as a you know that will fetch a long term kind of a career options for a legal student? How do you look at
It's a very new, recent career option, I would say. And we always had legal content writing, but abhi sab kuch online hai. Earlier, we used to have it offline in case of legal journals. We had legal journals. I don't know how many law students read it, but then there are legal publications also. So legal content is something that is always going to be in demand. not only today, whether it is 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, or 50 years. Content is something that is going to be in demand. Second thing I can tell you is not a lot of proper legal content is still digital. A lot of content is still in books. So it will take a while for good content. I'm not telling that there is no legal content. I'm saying to get uh, probably the quality of content which HM Sirvai had, or probably Nani Palkiwala had, that level of content, to get it online will take some time. So there is definitely a huge scope for the same. Now, whether you want to go ahead with it as a career or not is your individual choice. You want to do it for a couple of years, it's absolutely fine. You want to take it as a full-time career, even that is absolutely fine, because you may start off small, but then in future, I'm sure even law firms will have one particular wing dedicated especially for their websites, for legal content. Because remember, as lawyers, we cannot uh, we cannot advertise ourselves. So content is the best way to advertise. And I don't know if you've heard of this guy. So on Instagram, there is a financial content creator called as Finance with Sharan. Okay, so he's just creating content on finance. He got funded uh, by Nitin Kamath, the Zerodha guy. So he funded him. So you never know, tomorrow, even in legal avenue, this can be the future.
All right. Thank you, Aishwarya ma'am, for giving that opinion on whether it's a long-lasting career for law students or not, the content creation. Let's move further and we'll try to understand from you, Aishwarya. Content writing often requires a strong portfolio, according to us. And what are the best ways for legal student writers to build a portfolio that can showcase their skills and attract potential clients?
Uh, for a law student to have a strong portfolio, one, as a law student, your work should be published in reputed journal. Reputed journal means journals with ISBN numbers. Like websites like mine are good, but we are just a blog. But the idea is, see, when you publish on a blog, you get a lot of visibility. Your name is mentioned on the website, people will go ahead and Google your name, they will search, and they'll try to get in touch with you. That is one plus point. Second thing, you can start your own website. It is not at all expensive. You can get a WordPress domain for free. Thoda .wordpress.com aega, but then that's absolutely fine. Blogspot is there. There are different Wix is there. You can get a lot of free websites built on the same. Other thing is, as I said, reputed legal journals help you in getting placed with a good company or with a tier one law firm. Third thing for legal writing or building a good portfolio is writing case commentaries or writing short articles for legal journals, probably AIR, criminal law journal. How to submit it? You always have contact details either in the beginning or in the end. Another thing is, you can always enter into competitions. I mean, during our times we didn't have competitions, but nowadays you have a lot of legal writing competitions. I try to participate. I don't want to get into this NLU non-NLU debate right now, but do try to participate in the competitions that are conducted by national law schools only for the sake of experience. Okay, it's not about whether you want to win or not. Go there, experience certain things, and then grow from that. Uh, See, legal writing is not only about writing. You have a lot of research paper presentations also. Present your papers in one academic year. Try to present it at least at 2 to 3 different places. Then you will understand, where you stand exactly. Apart from your law, apart from your good language, apart from in-depth research, the way you present your content is also what plays a huge role. So even if you have the best of research paper, you may have the best of case laws and uh, unsaid or probably unapplied laws till now, but if you have not presented it properly within those 5 minutes that were given to you to present your papers, It's of no use. Present your papers before the governments. Even a lot of government bodies call for research papers. Just Google it, or there are websites like Knowledge Steez. I think it is Knowledge and STEEZ.com, wherein they generally list out a lot of places where you can publish your papers. So yeah, with the United Nations blog, or Amnesty International, try to publish your work in such international journals or on the pages of such websites.
Great, ma'am. Great. I think like there are a lot of tips that probably aspirants can list out and then probably plan working with the international institutes, as you mentioned, the United Nations blog, as well as Amnesty International, and also you have mentioned about the publishing sites or publishing bodies which have ISBN reference. Apart from the other sites and other blogs, as you mentioned, is also a key thing that actually demarcates or kind of differentiates content, and that is going to be something that is useful for the content writers, and also research presentations and approaching government bodies for submissions and participating into competitions. I think these are the key takeaways. Let me move further, and I know that you have been doing a lot, and you have been talking a lot through your blog, the breaking stereotypes. So how do you approach the challenge of simplifying the legal concepts for the common man through your blog, breaking stereotypes, Aishwarya ma'am?
Okay. Now the whole idea behind starting the blog was that whenever you said that you're a lawyer, or whenever you say that you're a lawyer, people are scared of you. People think that law is something difficult, it is something unapproachable, because they don't understand. That is one. Second thing, when you don't understand something, you get a fear. So you talk about police station, you talk about going to a lawyer, people are like, okay, इसने कुछ तो गलत किया रहेगा, इसके लिए जा रहा है. But in that process, they lose out a lot of their rights, their basic rights, basic problems which would have been uh, solved at the initial issues. So that is one thing. Second thing is, you know, when I talk about simplifying, that is what I said. It is your hands-on experience that matters a lot. For example, a lot of my lectures are based on what are my experiences with my clients, or what are my experiences while teaching, or what are my experiences in general with respect to the society. And therefore, the concept of breaking stereotype. It is not completely academic. Like I've put on videos on body shaming. Now, body shaming as a concept is something that every law student faces, or probably we know somebody, but there are no direct laws on the same. But what can you do if you know someone who is facing it, or if you know someone who's facing mental health related issues? What is it that you can do? You can approach your college committee. In case if you know someone who has been ragged, uh, as you know, in some colleges, ragging is something that is very prevalent. So what do you do? Do you go to your college seniors? Do you go, your college authorities? Do you go to the principal? What do you do if they refuse to file a complaint? How do you file an FIR? So you have to think about innovative solutions for common problems which are already in existence.
Right, that's really impressive that you're trying to bring law close to the common man through your blog. We really appreciate the time and effort that you're actually spending through the breaking stereotypes and bringing more knowledge on board through these stories. Aishwarya, I wanted to take this as the last question, and we will probably have to wind up since we are running out of time. What advice would you give to the aspiring authors or entrepreneurs looking to venture into consultancy services like what you have been doing through your entrepreneurial services?
One advice I want to give to law students is be yourself. Don't follow the tide. Don't do something because Sharma ji ka beta did so and so. Certain things will work out for some students, certain things will not work out for them. Be always tend to see the successful side. We don't see what are the failures. One thing I want to tell is, don't get overwhelmed by social media, right? I see a lot of, like, in a day, I'll tell you, I'll see 10 to 15 posts on social media, on LinkedIn, about law students complaining that juniors are not paid stipend, they are not paid this. But the same students who are complaining, and these are students who have just cleared out, the same students who are complaining will never ever mention that what is the basic skill set that a law student who has completed his LLB should have. Like, there are certain skill sets which, irrespective, you need to have. Remember one thing, when you are hiring a law student, you're not hiring you're not hiring a 10-year-old. You're hiring a 22 to 24-year-old individual. Nobody's going to babysit and teach you. Like, my kid is 4. Okay, so the way I teach my daughter is I have to teach her from the basics. See, this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. Nobody is going to do that for you. For a 22 to 24-year-old, nobody is going to do that for you. When you talk about mentorship or you talk about building a relationship, it happens over a period of time. You cannot expect a senior in your internship to leave his proper paid work and sit for 1 hour and give you private tuitions. That is not what internship is about. What your internship is about is key. Your senior gives you a file, you're getting an opportunity. Senior permits you to go through the file, go through it. On your way from the office to the court, read the file. What are the laws applicable? Why is this? See, you may not understand the technicalities. Okay, it is difficult. But you can always understand the basic facts. You can always know that Annexure A is the memorandum of understanding between the plaintiff and the defendant. Memorandum X is ABCD document. इतना तो याद आप रख सकते हो. Start with the basics. Don't expect that tomorrow, the day you graduate, you're going to turn out to be a Ram Jethmalani or a Nani Palkiwala. Even initial 10 years of, their practice, nobody knew them. Even for me, initial 10 years, nobody knew who I was. Even we've had our own set of struggles. Haan, theek hai. Certain things were a plus point for me. Certain things were my own efforts. So always keep learning. Don't expect spoon feeding and babysitting. That is one thing I know it may seem very harsh, but then I feel this is something that needs to be told. Consider it as a tough love. That is what I want to say. And same thing goes for entrepreneurship. You have to jump in the well and then learn to swim. Otherwise, you cannot sit at the bay and say, ki yaar, pani bahut gehra hai. I don't know if I'll fail or not. I have failed many times. I don't know, see, how my day is going to be tomorrow. I don't know how my day is going to be the rest, whatever is pending. But you have to be ready for those challenges. You have to be ready. You have to learn how to blend your personal life and professional life. ऐसा नहीं होता है कि just because you want to focus on your career, you have to सिर्फ career करना है. ऐसा नहीं होता है. सब कुछ एक साथ होता है, and it takes time. You need patience, whether it is litigation, whether it is corporate, whether it is content writing, whether it is entrepreneurship, or whatever new rocket science comes up in future.
Right,
So
ma'am.
that's all.
I think like these are quite kind of quite important tips basically. So you need to be proactive and you need to be kind of risk taker as well, and also try to kind of put that extra effort that whenever you sit with a senior, or probably whenever you kind of indulge in an assignment through an internship or something like that. So you have to showcase that kind of proactivism, and then also as you mentioned, like it is definitely worth it to give it a shot and then try and understand what it takes, and who knows, like success would definitely be yours. And with that, I would have to kind of wind up this interesting and insightful discussion, Aishwarya. This brings us to the end of this great conversation with you. And thanks for helping us and our audience understand the various aspects of content writing as a career for legal students. We appreciate you for the time that you have spent with us at StarTalks and sharing your invaluable advice. Once again, thanks a lot from Advotalks.
Thank you so much, Advotalks, for having me. It was a great session. I hope the children have really a good takeaway.
Sure. Thanks, ma'am. So that's about today's episode with Aishwarya Sandeep, which brings a good understanding about content writing as a career for legal students, bridging law, business, and beyond. We hope this conversation was knowledgeable. For more such updates and information on legal concepts, please visit our website www.advotalks.com, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Advotalks.